Hello, and welcome to Sarah and Paul Conversation. Today's episode is about something that many English learners find really challenging. Doing a job interview in English. What do you say when you arrive? How do you talk about your strengths and weaknesses? What questions should you ask at the end? Sarah and Paul are going to walk you through the whole experience with real, natural phrases you can actually use. So relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the conversation. Here we go.
Hey, welcome back to Sarah and Paul Conversation. So happy you're here with us today.
Yes, hello everyone. Wherever you are right now, at home, on the bus, taking a walk, we're really glad you decided to spend some time with us.
And if this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is all about real, everyday English, the kind of English you actually need in real life, not textbook sentences, not complicated grammar, just real, natural conversation that helps you grow. So if you're enjoying what we do, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's learning English too. It really helps us keep going. Okay, Paul, today's topic. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to find this one really useful.
I think so too, because today we're talking about something that almost everyone has to do at some point in their life. A job interview in English.
Oh, yes. And just saying those two words, job interview, makes some people nervous, doesn't it?
It really does. And you know what? That nervousness is completely normal. Even native speakers get nervous before a job interview.
Exactly. So imagine doing a job interview in a language that is not your first language. That's a whole extra level of pressure.
It is. But here's the good news. With the right phrases, with a little preparation and with some confidence, you can absolutely do it.
And that's what today is all about. We're going to walk you through a job interview conversation, step by step, phrase by phrase.
So whether you have an interview coming up soon or you just want to be prepared for the future, this episode is for you. Let's start at the very beginning. You arrive for the interview. You walk in. What's the first thing that happens, Sarah?
Well, usually you arrive at reception or someone comes to greet you. And this first moment, even before the interview starts, actually matters a lot.
It does, because the impression you make from the very first second is important. So what do you say when you arrive?
You might say, "Good morning. I have an interview at 10 o'clock. My name is Anna Brown." Simple, clear, polite.
And you know what's interesting? A lot of learners think they need to say something impressive right away. But actually, simple and clear is always better.
Always. You don't need to be impressive at reception. You just need to be friendly and professional.
Exactly, and then someone will take you to a waiting area or directly to the interview room. And while you wait, try to breathe, try to relax. Don't look at your phone the whole time.
Good advice. And then the interviewer comes in. They shake your hand. They say, "Hello, nice to meet you. Please take a seat." What do you say?
You say, "Thank you. Nice to meet you too." And you sit down, you make eye contact, and you smile. That's it. That's the beginning.
And already you've made a good impression, just by being warm, calm, and polite. Now, the first question. Paul, what is the most common first question in a job interview?
Almost always. Could you tell me a little about yourself? Or sometimes, tell me about yourself.
And this question sounds simple, but it catches a lot of people off guard.
It really does. Because it's so open. Where do you start? What do you say? How long do you talk? Exactly. So let's help our listeners with this one. Sarah, what's a good way to answer?
A good answer is short, focused, and relevant. You talk about your professional background, where you studied, where you've worked, what you're good at, and then you connect it to this job.
So something like, I studied business administration at university. After that, I worked for 3 years in customer service. I really enjoy working with people, and I'm looking for a new challenge in a larger company.
Perfect. That answer is maybe 30 to 40 seconds. It's clear, it's relevant. It ends with a reason why you're here today.
And that last part is important. Always connect your answer to the job you're applying for. Show them why you're sitting in that chair.
Okay, so we've talked about the arrival and the first question. Now let's talk about some other very common interview questions, because there are a few that come up again and again.
Yes. And it really helps to think about these before the interview, not to memorize a perfect answer, but just to have an idea of what you want to say.
Exactly. Okay, so the second very common question, what are your strengths?
Oh, this one. A lot of people feel uncomfortable talking about themselves positively. Especially in some cultures, it can feel strange to say, I am good at this.
That's such a true point. But in an English job interview, you are expected to talk about your strengths. It's not showing off. It's being professional.
So you might say, I'm very organized. I'm good at working under pressure. I'm a strong communicator. These are all natural, clear ways to talk about your strengths.
And try to give a small example if you can. Not a long story, just a sentence. I'm very organized. In my last job, I managed 3 projects at the same time.
That little example makes your answer so much stronger. It shows you're not just saying words, you have real experience behind them.
Now, the next question, and this one is famous, maybe the most famous interview question of all. What is your greatest weakness? Oh yes, the weakness question. Paul, why do interviewers ask this?
They want to see how self-aware you are. They want to see if you can reflect on yourself honestly, and they want to see how you handle a difficult question.
So the worst answer is, I don't have any weaknesses. Because nobody believes that.
Nobody. And it actually sounds arrogant. It sounds like you're not being honest.
So what's a good answer?
A good answer mentions a real weakness, but then shows what you're doing about it. For example, sometimes I find it difficult to delegate. I prefer to do things myself to make sure they're done correctly, but I'm working on this. I've been trying to trust my team more and share responsibilities.
That's a really honest, mature answer. You're admitting something real, but you're showing growth. You're showing self-awareness.
And that's exactly what interviewers are looking for. They don't expect perfection. They expect honesty and the ability to improve.
Now, another question that comes up a lot. Why do you want to work for this company?
And this is where preparation really pays off, because if you don't know anything about the company, it shows immediately.
It does. So before any interview, always research the company. Look at their website. Find out what they do, what their values are, what makes them different.
And then you can say something like, I've been following your company for a while and I really admire the work you do in sustainability. I believe my skills in project management could contribute to your team.
That answer shows 3 things. You've done your research, you're genuinely interested, and you know what you can bring to the company.
3 things in one answer, efficient and impressive.
And what about at the end of the interview? Because most interviewers will say, do you have any questions for us? And a lot of people say, no, I think everything is clear.
Oh, please don't say that. Always have at least one question ready.
Always. because asking a question shows interest. It shows you're thinking seriously about this job.
So, what are some good questions to ask?
You could ask, what does a typical day in this role look like? Or, what are the opportunities for growth within the company? Or, what do you enjoy most about working here? That last one is lovely. It's warm and human.
I love that one. It shows you're interested in the culture, not just the job title.
And it often makes the interviewer smile, which is always a good thing at the end of an interview.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today. The arrival, the introduction, common questions, the weakness question, researching the company, and asking your own questions at the end.
That's actually a complete job interview journey, from the moment you walk in to the moment you walk out. And Paul, I want to talk about something that we haven't mentioned yet, something that isn't about vocabulary or phrases, something that is just as important.
Body language?
Yes, body language. Because in an interview, how you say something is just as important as what you say.
Absolutely. So sit up straight, not stiff, not robotic, just confident and open.
Make eye contact, not staring, just natural, comfortable eye contact. It shows you're engaged, you're present, you're confident.
And speak at a natural pace. A lot of people, when they're nervous, start speaking very fast, and then their pronunciation gets unclear, their thoughts get confused.
So slow down, take a breath. It's okay to pause for a second before you answer. In fact, pausing actually looks confident. It looks like you're thinking carefully.
That's such a good point. A short pause before answering says, I'm taking this seriously. I'm not just talking for the sake of talking.
And if you don't understand a question, don't panic. Just say, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, please? Or, could you clarify what you mean? That's completely professional. That's completely normal.
Nobody expects you to understand everything perfectly, especially if English is not your first language. Asking for clarification is a sign of professionalism, not weakness.
Now, let's talk about something that is very specific to non-native speakers, because a lot of our listeners are going to be doing job interviews in English as a second language, and that brings extra challenges.
It does, but it also brings something really valuable. The fact that you speak more than one language is already impressive. It shows intelligence, it shows dedication, it shows hard work.
And you can actually mention it in the interview. You could say, I'm also fluent in Spanish and Italian, which I believe could be an asset in an international environment.
Don't hide your multilingualism. It's a strength. Be proud of it.
And if your English is not perfect, that's okay. Interviewers who are hiring international candidates know that English might not be your first language. They are not expecting perfection.
They are expecting communication, effort, clarity, and warmth.
Exactly. So don't spend the whole interview worrying about your grammar. Focus on the message. Focus on connecting with the person in front of you.
Because at the end of the day, a job interview is a conversation between two people. It's not a test, it's not an exam, it's two people trying to find out if they can work well together.
I love that perspective. It really takes the pressure off.
Let's do a gentle review of the key phrases from today, just to help everything stay in your memory.
When you arrive, good morning. I have an interview at 10. My name is... Introducing yourself. I studied. I worked at. I'm looking for... Talking about strengths. I'm very organized. I work well under pressure. Talking about weaknesses. Sometimes I find it difficult to... But I'm working on it. Asking about the company. I really admire the work you do in... Your question at the end. What does a typical day in this role look like? If you don't understand, Could you repeat that, please?
Perfect. Keep those phrases somewhere you can see them, read them before your next interview, say them out loud, get comfortable with how they feel in your mouth.
Because the more you practice saying something, the more natural it feels when you really need it.
And that's true for everything in English, not just interviews.
So thank you so much for being here today. We really hope this episode helps you feel more confident, more prepared, and more ready for whatever comes next.
If you have an interview coming up, we are cheering for you, truly.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Sarah and Paul Conversation. Tell us, have you ever done a job interview in English? How did it go? We would love to hear your story.
Remember, you are not bad at English. You are just getting better every single day. Good luck, everyone. You got this.
See you next time. Take care.